Merrifield.
Here.
Councilmember Warner.
Present.
Councilmember Grubb.
Here.
Councilmember Mason.
Here.
Councilmember Straight.
Here. Okay, this evening our invocation will be done by Reverend George Batten, and the Pledge of Allegiance will be led by Councilman Mason.
Let us pray. Our eternal God, we're grateful for the privileges that you've given us in this wonderful country. We pray your blessing upon each of these council members. We pray your guidance and directions for their lives. We pray that you will bless this city through them and that you will be honored and glorified. Father, have your will and your way in each and every one of our lives, and let our time together be that of your Spirit. This we ask in Jesus' name. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Reverend Batten. Thank you, Bill. You all received minutes on your tablets of our meeting from May 23rd, and I assume you all have had time to look at them, and we would entertain a motion to accept those minutes.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
We have two public hearings this evening. The first public hearing is for an ordinance. Would the clerk please read an ordinance by title?
An ordinance providing for amendment to the City of Fairmont's 2016-2017 annual budget general fund.
Is anyone here to speak in favor of this ordinance? Our city manager is late, and I don't know that I have a copy of the revision.
Well, this is part of just...
This is the fourth and final revision to the budget, and it deals with carryover money and some other revisions that you all have a copy of. Anybody here to speak in favor of? Anybody here to speak against? I declare the public hearing closed. Item number 2 is also an ordinance. Would the clerk please read the ordinance by title?
An ordinance of the Council of the City of Fairmont providing for and authorizing the transfer and conveyance of a certain parcel of real estate situated in the City of Fairmont, Union District, Marion County, West Virginia, Block 4, Lot 12, Wiley Street, 3 apartments, Parcel 172 of Tax Map 05-10. It's 441 Wiley Street, Fairmont, Deed Book 1035 at page 174. From W.V. Ty LLC, Rye as custodian, a Delaware limited liability company, to the City of Fairmont, providing for and authorizing the conveyance and transfer of said parcel of real estate from the City of Fairmont to an adjoining property owner in accordance with the City of Fairmont's approved home rule plan and the ordinance adopted thereunder, approving the form of the transactional documents and authorizing the city manager to execute and deliver them on behalf of the City of Fairmont. Ratification.
Anyone here to speak in favor of the ordinance?
Mayor and Council, my name is Kevin Sampson, and I'm the city's attorney. This ordinance provides for the purchase of 441 Wiley Street, which is a dilapidated structure located on the east side. We have neighbors. It's been an ongoing problem with the city. The city's effort to rid the city of dilapidated structures will be torn down, and we have negotiated a contract with the purchase at things that need to be done. Purchasing.
Thank you, Kevin. Anyone else here to speak in favor of? Anyone? Anyone to speak against? I declare the public hearing closed. Announcements for this evening. Councilman Straight.
Mayor, the only announcement I have, I'd like to extend a happy birthday to our city clerk, who's 22. Thank her for all that she does for us and everybody else at the city. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
That's all I told them.
Councilman Mason.
Mayor, July 6th, everybody has a lot of paper clutter around the house. July 6th is declared as Clutter Independence Day.
Declutter day.
Declutter Day at 1042 Morgantown Avenue in conjunction with Resolute Forest Products, who will be on site to shred paper, old documents, etc. And the proceeds will go to the Boys and Girls Clubs of Marion County. Heavenly Hoagies will be there, and the SIP station will be on site as well. So it's all free, and for anyone who has all those documents in files or boxes or in the attic or wherever, you can come there to 1042 Morgantown Avenue from 11 to 3, July 6th, and you have a massive shredding truck that I've never. It's quite something to see. You put your papers in a big bundle of papers, and it shreds in seconds. So you can stand there and watch your papers be shred and rid your house of all the clutter. July 6th, 11 to 3. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Rudd.
Yes, I would like to thank the City Council for their attendance and support of Julie Pierpont Day, which was held ending last month. I think it was a very interesting program, and also I would like to encourage everybody to attend the Father's Day program that will be held down at Palatine Park this Sunday from 6 to 8 p.m. And I think there'll be a lot of entertainment and enjoyment, and I believe Dee Dee Mahan is our sponsor of this program.
This Sunday from 6 to 8.
Yes. And it's free to the public.
Mayor, I'd just like to echo Ronnie's sentiments and also wish the happiest of birthdays to one of my dear friends.
Councilmember Moran.
Nothing tonight, Mayor.
Deputy Mayor.
Just want to mention that there were several good things going on over the Memorial Day holiday and since, and I was unable to attend any of them. I had a hard task of visiting family. But do want to announce everybody has something to have, but I'm sure you've read in the paper that we're losing our president. She's retiring at Farimont State University. She will have an open house on the 28th or the 27th from 11 to 1 that anyone wants to bring into the Hardway Hall. And thank her for her service. She's really been an exemplary president of the university. The other thing, just to mention, I did attend, along with city manager, a drug forum at Noteworthy Suites about a week ago, and a little alarming, the things that they talk about. But I was more alarmed with this article that I got about the new dealers in selling prescription painkillers. And I hope that it doesn't hit this area. But they're all senior citizens and retired, and they discovered that they can make $20 a pill on the street by selling their prescriptions. they give the excuse that they're not selling it to individuals, they're selling it to the pushers, so they don't feel that they have an obligation of keeping those bills. I think that's a sad commentary, being in that group of retired citizens and what we would call AARP people. Hopefully it won't continue here. Thank you, Mayor.
Councilman Linger.
Well, if Councilman Yann's peers would quit trying to mess everything up, we'd all be in a better place. I have no announcements.
Where did you go before you came?
I was down at the gym.
Councilman Merrifield.
I had the pleasure of attending the Julia Pierpont celebration with several council members and city manager, my wife, and the mayor. And for those of you that have never attended things like that, it really was very special, very informative. So there weren't a lot of attendees, but it's just something that you're missing out on it if you don't attend some of those. Second thing is that I guess due to the work of my predecessor, Bill Burdick, we had some buildings demolished on Pennsylvania Avenue this week, the old Petroleum Market and a couple old homes nearby finally came down, thank goodness, because they looked like they were about ready to come out in the road. So it was good to see that, and very impressive how our contractor takes those things down, and I mean, it's amazing how quickly and the way they look just a short time after that. And most importantly, my wife and I went to South Carolina and received our first grandchild's last Thursday, little daughter, Ellery Catherine. So we're real proud. So it's been a busy week.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Nice. Well, you mentioned the demolition, and I'm sure Robin's going to talk about it. And Bill Burdick did talk a lot about it, but Robin, Kevin, Sandra, I'm sure Martha, who else? Many had a lot to do with it. I know for Kevin it was...
Maria, Shane.
Okay, I know for...
Ron, TA.
That's why they wanted.
For Kevin, there were, 48 heirs you needed to, something like that. They were my family members. That was my great uncle's store. And I guess they all complied because it came down. And one of the stone houses that came down was my dad's oldest brother's house. I visited that house when I was a little kid many times. They fell into disrepair, and they came down this past week, and I'm sure you're going to talk about it, so I don't want to talk about it. But thank you very much. Thank you and your staff for what you did to see that those buildings came down. And I would like to thank Dora Grubb for putting together that very fine Julia Pierpont program that we attended. Robin was there, Rod Winkler was there, Brad Merrifield was there, I was there, Frank was there, and it was a very informative and very well done program. So thank you for doing this. It was nice. And also, I want to mention the Three Rivers Festival, which I was honored to have been asked to be the parade marshal. They had good weather 3 out of the 4 days, and it seemed to be a lot of people there, and I'm sure Sharon and Carol and everybody, their staff, had hours and hours that went into to making that a nice festival for everybody to enjoy. I know the crowd was big, and hats off to them for what they did. So that's all I have as far as announcements go. We have 2 citizens' petitions this evening. The first one is George Batten. If you would come forward, state your name, your address. You have 5 minutes to address council.
George Batten, 408 Murray Avenue. I would like to begin by making some generalizations. All parents try to make life difficult for their children. No matter what they say, salesmen don't care a bit about people they sell to. They just want your money. All dogs have fleas. Police officers are corrupt. And the Fairmont City Council is out for personal gain. Mark Twain said, all generalizations are false, including this one. Did you appreciate the generalization about you, the City Council? I'm sure you didn't. Do you react to the generalization that homeless people are all criminals the same way? Is the generalization true or false? It's false. Homeless people are not a nuisance. They are not responsible for all the drugs in this community, and they are not responsible for all the ills of society and Fairmont. If you bristled when I said the Fairmont City Council is out for personal gain, how do you think homeless people react to the false generalizations that have been leveled against them in this war against the homeless? The end result is they trust us less. They are angry at a world that has dealt with them so cruelly, and they feel less secure. The homeless are citizens, and as such demand respect. They deserve the same respect we give different ethnic groups and to different religious faiths. For background, the service organizations that deal with homelessness were informed that the city was closing Tent City. We were given a date for the closing, and we were invited to a meeting. Ken Fletcher from Code Enforcement and Officer Wolford from Fairmont Police Department attended from the city. We were informed that on Friday before Memorial Day, they would give Tent City residents 72 hours to vacate with their belongings. Because of the holiday, we asked that they wait until Tuesday so we could service anyone needing help. Officer Wolford suggested that we have a debriefing following the closure of the Tent City. And on Friday, June 2nd, we went to the arranged debriefing, assuming that the notices had been posted and the 72 hours had elapsed. Ken Fletcher and Robin Gomez attended, but not Officer Wolford. Robin Gomez presented a slideshow of about 8 to 10 slides illustrating the deplorable mess he assumes the homeless have made. Robin conducted himself in a very unprofessional manner. I would like to hear Robin give the same speech to you, the City Council, he gave to us with the same tone and inflections used that day. Speech went something like this: I'm the city manager, I'm in charge here, and if the City Council wants to fire me, they can, but until then, I will be in charge. This was a debriefing, and I wonder why that was said. I could not fathom the aggressiveness that he displayed. He talked over people, did not allow people to speak. Our city manager gave an unacceptable display, second to none. We had no idea that he had postponed the closure. Then Robin accused the mission of being the reason homeless come to Fairmont and of building barriers to housing. In 1937, Union Mission was founded as a Christian organization to help with the homeless problem of the city that existed then. We do serve 3 meals a day to any and all that come. But an interesting point is 50% of those we serve come from outside the mission and are housed. Do you want them to choose between housing and eating? According to the National Low Income Housing Coalition in Marion County, the housing wage for an efficiency apartment is $11.87 an hour. For a 1-bedroom, it's $11.94. A 2-bedroom apartment, a person has to earn $15.29. For a 3-bedroom apartment, $20.29. And for a 4-bedroom apartment, $22.13. Where do people find the jobs that pay these wages in Marion County? A job is not the answer when there is no affordable housing. As to our rules being barriers, how do you house people and keep them safe without rules? In fact, it is rules about structures having water, and sewer that is the basis of the city's onslaught against 6 homeless people. 6, not 40. Approximately 33% of homeless people have mental illness. Mentally ill people do not think just like you and I do. Homeless people have trouble functioning in society. That's the reason they're homeless. Every apartment you put homeless people in has rules. These are barriers. The Housing Coalition cannot house everyone because they do not qualify. Another barrier caused by rules. You cannot house those that will not be housed. The National Alliance to End Homelessness published a paper on faith-based organizations. The opening paragraph reads, "Faith-based organizations serve as the backbone of the emergency shelter system in this country, operating at a minimum nearly 30% of emergency shelter beds for families and single adults at the national level. They play a critical role in delivering services to people in crisis, and significantly fewer households experiencing homelessness would be served and more would remain in crisis without them." Let me emphasize the end of the quote. Homelessness will not be ended without faith-based organization. Union Mission comes with rules, but plays a critical role in the solution to homelessness. It is my hope the city in the future will approach change in a friendlier way. While understanding people resist
Excuse me,
change.
Mayor, can we get to the point?
Are you winding up?
Yeah.
Okay, he'll be all right. He's winding up.
While understanding people resist change, but when we make people our ally, they will work with us. I do not believe closing Tent City was a bad thing, but totally deplorable the way it was done and our city manager's conduct. Thank you for your time and indulgence.
Thank you. Our second citizens petition tonight is Leanne Jones. Would you please come forward, state your name, your address, and you have 5 minutes to address council.
Leanne Jones, 6 Outlook Road. Basically, I just wanted to give an update on those who were residents down along the river. To my knowledge, there's just 2. One's new and that have not been put in a shelter or somewhere, or they have left the area. You told us about the 2 new ones. We've been in contact with them, so they're getting taken care of. And that's bad. I just wanted to present that to let you all know that we're working with them very closely and sending them to George or where they need to go to shelter or Scott's Place.
So they're doing okay.
The problem is some of them do not want to be housed, and it's very difficult. And I think some of them are going to move around. I know some of them at one point were staying in some of the abandoned buildings that you are trying to get rid of, and that's going to be a problem because they'll find a new one to go to. But because they don't want to follow the rules, and that's something, they said that was a barrier. Well, the rules for this, there's, everything has rules, so they need to learn the rules. And we work with them on some of those so they can get back to where they need to be and be productive citizens. So
Well, thanks for what you do. Thanks for your concern.
Thank you.
Okay, city manager's report.
Mayor and council, and just to respond quickly, as I shared with the mayor and the council, all the images, what the plan is to close the tent city and any other housing or structure that is unfit for human habitation. It must have water, must have electricity. We have not closed any of them. If anybody's still living there, they're still living there. If they've moved, they've moved. But they are on private property. To the best of our knowledge, they have not obtained permission to be where they are. And the images that I shared with all of you showed probably 7 or 8 dump truck loads full of trash. As the strategy since I arrived has been, is to clean up the city, whether it's an abandoned building, a piece of trash on the sidewalk, get new receptacles, encourage Republic Services to do more to help us more since it's costing all residences more to dispose of trash, that's what we're going to continue to do. That's what this is about, is people not living in areas that they should not be living, that they do reach out and receive the services that are available to them from a couple of the organizations you heard tonight, plus about a dozen more. That's what the plan is about. And that's what we're going to continue to do every day here in the city of Fairmont, as long as I continue to be the city manager, which is the direction that I have been given to improve and enhance the city, clean it up, get investment, get development. It's difficult to do that if we have a triangle in downtown with social service agencies that what are they doing to help? They're doing quite a bit, and that is greatly appreciated. But could you be doing a lot more? Absolutely. And that's what was stated at that meeting, and I will continue to say that, and unless the council feels otherwise, that's what we're going to continue to do to clean the city, ensure people are safe and secure, and that includes everyone. It doesn't matter who you are, where you come from, that is our task, to ensure that you are safe, that you feel comfortable, that we have a high quality of life in this city. It is difficult to do that with the current situation, and no city should have, I wouldn't even call them residences or structures, like have been at that location out from 5th Street to approximately 8th Street. For how many years have those been there, Leanne? They've been there 25 years or longer?
8 or 9, I don't know.
Okay. They've been there, I've heard, anywhere from a few years to as many as 20 years. But it is unacceptable in any city that you have a trash-laden area, and whether it was one person that did it, or 30 or 40 or 100 over the years, is unacceptable to have that. And we will continue to do that throughout the entire city, is continue to clean up the city. As Councilman Merrifield mentioned about the dilapidated buildings and the 3 that came down, we did have an issue with the weather this evening, and here's some photos for the council. We had a structure at 712 Locust Avenue that the weather did bring down. It's a structure that caught on fire last month, and I apologize, that's why I was late. Reclaim showed up on site. They are clearing the location because it was, and it continues to be, a public hazard. The structure could have fallen on Locust Avenue, and we are remediating that as we speak. Hopefully they'll finish that in the next couple of hours. It's what used to be the Kirby building next to the college lunch at 712 Locust Avenue. So the entire, I guess that would be the north or west wall, fell onto the building next to it across Hawthorne Street. And so right now, as we speak here, Reclaim is fixing that right now. It's coincidental or lucky that they were on this side of town taking down, and the equipment is here, and they just took them to nothing. Probably about 30 minutes to go to the other side of the city and start to take that building down. So we will continue. One of the items in tonight's agenda is to approve the city acquiring another dilapidated structure over on Wiley Street, that we will issue a bid to demolish that structure along with 5 others, hopefully over the next couple of weeks. And I know the neighbors around there will be extremely happy, just as we've had dozens of people express their content and how happy they were, except perhaps Mayor, one of your family members, but I think he was sad, but he understood about the old Petrolo building. So we're getting a lot of positive comments on doing that. And again, to reiterate, we are moving in many directions, in many positive directions, to ensure that everyone who lives here, everyone who visits, can enjoy the city of Fairmont, and that's what we will continue to do unless Mayor and Council, there's a different direction that we need to be taking. Thank you.
I think you know that we gave you a different direction a few meetings ago, and like Butch Thorne reiterated at the last meeting, there's a new sheriff in town. The philosophy has changed. We've got money in the upcoming budget to tear these buildings down. And I think it's a consensus of council that you have our support to continue this effort to remove these dilapidated buildings. So,
Well, I agree with that, but I would like to sometime, Robin, if you'd like to talk, see what happened with the meeting here and why it got to the level it got to, because I understand both sides.
And if I may quickly, my frustration is that this has gone on long enough, and no city should have those types of areas full of trash, litter, and debris, and people living in those conditions. They happen in thousands of cities around the world. Mm-hmm. We are not unique to that. But I was selected here to be the manager to do as I've already stated, and that's the direction that we're going.
And that's
So,
fine.
and I've explained to them that it has gone long enough. We gave them notice that this is what we were going to do at a meeting back on, that Leanne attended, this stakeholders meeting on May the 10th. And then it was, and Leanne was there from MVA, the Milan Pushcart Center, and a few other organizations. They then spread the word out to other organizations that this is what we were going to do. As Mr. Tennant mentioned, that we were going to post any uninhabitable structure. You have 72 hours to leave. We did not do that. We have not done that to this date. And that is the direction, the comments that I made, and I explained that we're not going to bend on this. We will give you more time, and we have. Our next walk, we did a walk through Ken Fletcher and Shane Carpenter and I on Friday, June the 2nd, out in those areas, and we identified about a dozen structures, and I forwarded to all of you those images of those structures. When we had the follow-up meeting on June the 2nd, I don't know why I called it a debriefing, it was a meeting, and I wasn't able to attend the second meeting that was held with other organizations. But on this third meeting, what you mentioned, the debriefing, that's on June the 2nd, where I explained we haven't done a single thing, nothing, other than have a meeting on May the 10th, and then the second meeting that I was unable to attend. And they asked for more time, we provided more time, that on June the 16th, this Friday, Ken Fletcher and others from Code Enforcement and I, we will walk through that area and determine what is there. Most likely what we will find will be most of the same structures that are still out there, most of the same debris and litter and other items that are still there. That's the expectation of what we will find. It was also explained to them at the June 2nd meeting that we would not do any type of enforcement until no earlier than July the 3rd. Monday, July the 3rd is when we would go back out and we would post 72-hour notices on all those structures. That you have 72 hours to leave, take all of your personal belongings. After that time period, we would go back and then discard the trash and the debris that is there. And that's what was explained to at that meeting, and he's shaking his head, but that's what was explained to you, Mr. Tennant, that that's what the city will do.
I understand that. I'm unsure where the frustration's coming from. That's why I say outside this meeting, maybe we could talk and find out where that's kind of coming from, because everybody has the same goal, and we all have separate limitations to keep us from getting that goal. But if we can stay amicable and work together, I think that that together we can achieve that goal. And we do support you as a council on the steps you're taking to clean up the city, and we do appreciate it. We just want to make sure that everybody in the city is comfortable working with us as a city and as a team to make this a place we all want to live. Thanks.
Right.
We work as a council, and of course he works for us. We are responsible to our constituents, and there isn't a week goes by that someone doesn't call me or see me someplace, and I'm sure the rest of the council's the same way. They want this done. It's not us coming out on our own. They're saying, get rid of these buildings, get rid of these eyesores, make this a pleasant area that people want to come and live in. So it's just not taking this off the top of our heads to do this and saying.
Nobody's disagreeing. Nobody here disagrees with that.
Yeah.
It's just the
I
method
want to
of
make
getting
that
there.
clear, that it's
Mayor, I'd like to add, I commend the city manager for doing what we hired him to do. And it's clear that sometimes emotions can get a little twisted, but we're doing what we need to do and what we have to do, and we're going to continue to do it to make the city the best city we can be. And I commend the city manager.
I gather from your comments and the lady that spoke back there is an effort to try and help these people out.
Absolutely, and the agencies will continue to do that, and we're not putting any barriers to them or telling them, no, you can't do that. We're simply saying that enough is enough. We're giving you more time for us to advise anybody who may be residing in those on structures unfit for human habitation that this is the end. And we're cooperating with them and explaining to them, and I provided them some information for some additional tents that we found at a park. We're not sure if those are transients or not. We think it might just be kids that are camping, but we don't know because we haven't been able to find the people that are in the tents that are behind the Fifth Street Park. So and provided that information to Leanne and to the coalition, the Homeless Coalition, and Mr. Tim Dawson. So we're not saying, no, you can't do what you're doing. It's just we've had enough, and we need to go forward and find the solutions, provide the services. Unfortunately, people don't want to be housed or don't want to do that, but guess what? They'll end up in our downtown. We had one person that I've seen walking around, a transient person, and we had to call 911 because he looked like he was either dead or he was highly intoxicated. And that's fortunately there aren't very many of those, but nobody wants those activities in your city, and that's what we're going to continue to do, is find them the help and the assistance that they need, and that's where the organizations come in, and we will continue to refer folks to them.
And you know that you have our support.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, the consideration of council business, item number 1 is the adoption of an ordinance. Is there a motion to adopt the ordinance?
So moved.
Second. Is there a second?
Second.
Would the clerk please read the ordinance by title?
An ordinance providing for amendment to the City of Fairmont's 2016-2017 annual budget general fund.
Is there any further discussion necessary on this ordinance? Would the clerk please call for a roll call vote?
Councilmember Linger,
Yes.
Councilmember Warner,
Yes.
Councilmember Grubb,
Yes.
Councilmember Moran,
Yes.
Councilmember Merrifield,
Yes.
Councilmember Yan,
Yes.
Councilmember Mason,
Yes.
Councilmember Straight,
Yes.
Mayor Manella.
Yes. The ordinance is adopted. Item number 2 is also the adoption of an ordinance. Is there a motion to adopt the ordinance?
So moved.
Second.
Would the clerk please read the ordinance by title?
An ordinance of the Council of the City of Fairmont providing for and authorizing the transfer and conveyance of a certain parcel of real estate situated in the City of Fairmont, Union District, Marion County, West Virginia, Block 4, Lot 12, Wiley Street, 3 apartments, Parcel 172 of Tax Map 05-10, 441 Wiley Street, in Deed Book 1035 at page 174, from West Virginia TL LLC Rye as custodian, a Delaware limited liability company, to the City of Fairmont, providing for and authorizing the conveyance and transfer of said parcel of real estate from the City of Fairmont to an adjoining property owner in accordance with the City of Fairmont's approved home rule plan and the ordinances adopted thereunder, approving the form of the transactional documents and authorizing the city manager to execute and deliver them on behalf of the City of Fairmont. Ratification.
Is there any further need for discussion of this ordinance? Will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Yan,
Yes.
Councilmember Mason,
Yes.
Councilmember Merrifield,
Yes.
Councilmember Warner,
Yes.
Councilmember Moran,
Yes.
Councilmember Grubb,
Yes.
Councilmember Linger,
Yes.
Mayor Manella,
Yes.
Councilmember Straight.
Yeah.
Item number 3 is the introduction, first reading, and to set a public hearing for an ordinance. Would the clerk please read, is there a motion to set the public?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Will the clerk please read the ordinance by synopsis?
An ordinance providing for the vacation and abandonment of the unopened right-of-way of an unnamed alley perpendicular to Westview Drive, situated in the City of Fairmont, Fairmont District, Marion County, West Virginia, between parcels 58 and 11 of Tax Map 03-19, owned by Raymond S. Friend Jr. and Paula Friend, and Dustin Merrill and Amy Merrill, respectively, reserving all utility rights. This proposed ordinance provides for the vacation and abandonment of the unopened right-of-way of an unnamed alley perpendicular to Westview Drive in the City of Fairmont, Fairmont District, between parcels number 58 and 11 of Tax Map 03-19, owned by Ray and Paula Friend and Dustin and Amy Merrill, respectively. The City of Fairmont Planning Commission on May 17, 2017 approved and recommended to City Council, after public hearing duly noted and held, the adoption of this ordinance. The City of Fairmont has reserved all utility rights. The alley to be abandoned is depicted on the attached map.
All in favor of setting the public hearing, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The public hearing will be held at our June 27th council meeting. Item number 4 is also the introduction, first reading, and to set a public hearing for an ordinance. Is there a motion to set the public hearing?
So moved.
Second.
Will the clerk please read the ordinance by synopsis?
An ordinance of the Council of the City of Fairmont providing for and authorizing the transfer and conveyance of a certain parcel of real estate situated in the City of Fairmont Winfield District, Marion County, West Virginia, .25 acres, Holt Road, map 06-01, parcel 16, Winfield City, Marion County, from Phyllis A. Lemley to the City of Fairmont, providing for and authorizing the conveyance and transfer of said parcel of real estate from the City of Fairmont to an adjoining property owner in accordance with the City of Fairmont's approved home rule plan and the ordinances adopted thereunder, approving the form of the transactional document and authorizing the city manager to execute and deliver them on behalf of the City of Fairmont. Ratification. By this proposed ordinance, the Council of the City of Fairmont provides for and authorizes the city manager to do all things necessary to provide for the transfer of the parcel of real estate described above from Phyllis A. Lemley to the City of Fairmont, and for the transfer of the parcel of real estate from the City of Fairmont to the adjoining property owner. In addition, by this proposed ordinance, the Council for the City of Fairmont ratifies, confirms, and approves all actions taken in furtherance of the transactions contemplated by this ordinance, which may have occurred prior to the ordinance's effective date. The transactions contemplated by this ordinance are for the purpose of providing for the abatement of a dilapidated, abandoned, and vacant structure.
All in favor of setting the public hearing, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That public hearing will also be held at our June 27th meeting. Item number 5 is the introduction, first reading, and to set a public hearing for an ordinance. Is there a motion to set the public hearing?
So moved. Second.
Will the clerk please read the ordinance by synopsis?
An ordinance providing for an amendment to the City of Fairmont's 2017-2018 annual budget general fund. This ordinance provides for a general fund budget revision for the 2017-2018 annual budget. This revision will be the first revision for the current fiscal year.
All in favor of setting the public hearing, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? June 27th, a public hearing will be held. Item number 6 is also the introduction, first reading, and to set a public hearing for an ordinance. Is there a motion to set the public hearing?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Will the clerk please read the ordinance by synopsis?
An ordinance providing for an amendment to the City of Fairmont's 2017-2018 annual budget coal severance. This ordinance provides for a coal severance budget revision for the 2017-2018 annual budget. This revision will be the first revision for this current fiscal year.
All in favor of setting the public hearing, say aye.
Aye.
The hearing will be held June 27th. The last agenda item is the adoption of a resolution with the, is there a motion to adopt the resolution? Is there a second?
Second.
Will the clerk please read the resolution by title?
A resolution of the Council of the City of Fairmont endorsing the Home Brewers Against Hunger event sponsored by the Fairmont Home Brewers Club to be held at Palatine Park on Saturday, September 23rd, 2017. This proposed resolution provides for the City of Fairmont's support for the Home Brewers Against Hunger charity event, and the purpose of which is to raise funds to support of local food banks. This event is sponsored by the Fairmont Home Brewers Club and is slated to be held at Palatine Park on Saturday, September 23rd from 12 o'clock p.m. to 5 o'clock p.m. This resolution contains a disclaimer that by supporting this event, no relationship is created between the City of Fairmont and the event sponsor.
Okay, will the clerk please call the roll for a vote?
Councilmember Moran?
Yes.
Councilmember Merrifield?
Yes.
Councilmember Grubb?
Yes.
Councilmember Mason?
Yes.
Councilmember Warner?
Yes.
Councilmember Yan?
Yes.
Councilmember Linger?
Oh, yeah.
Councilmember Straight?
Yes.
Mayor Manella?
Yes. Sounds like somebody's ready to drink some beer. There's one more item.
Mayor, I move we adjourn.
Second.
Good. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.